These are kind of old. And so like when we first started, I think this is the first necklace we ever did. So some polymer, but all the glass were beads we collected. So Dan hasn't started making beads yet, although he also started with polymer clay. So this is another earlier one. And like this one, none of the faces were cane. So I would do it like, make the clay really thin. So I would like spread it on like I'm painting with the clay. So all these ones with the faces actually are not cane work, like none of these, and then none of those. But then starting in this one, you can see actually cane, face canes and other canes. So that's when I learned how to make cane. But the beads are still purchased beads. It's still, no, Dan hasn't made beads yet. So these are some of his early glass beads. And then we started combining the glass and polymer. This one is all simple cane work.
This one?
It's all simple cane. And this one is pretty much simple cane except for the faces. And then you can see some very simple polymer work, very simple cane work. And so the mosaic work started 92. I started polymer clay in 86. So this is one of the earlier mosaics, probably 94, I think. So this long, big necklace wasn't intended as a necklace initially. They were all teaching samples that I put together. And you can tell we collect like a lot of the African beads. And we wanted to have like one of each different, beads, but we couldn't afford to buy a whole strand of a particular bead. So then we started making our own versions of it. So that's like an African bead. And these are polymer. And then these are glass. So, and then another oldish bead.
It's very interesting how you marry these two materials together. I mean,
yeah, and
glass and polymer, and they look very nicely,
Yeah, and some of the glass we etch it so it's not shiny, so it looks closer to the polymer. And so this is another one, kind of a sampler with different techniques. Like this is drawn on and cane work. This is a carved bead, and this one is just little balls of clay, cane work. So lots of different techniques. And I'll show you another drawer where I think it's the below or above. So
Dana told me that your house is like a treasure house. I believe that now. I mean, really.
Yeah, one of our
exciting
friends, fellow polymer clay artist, says she tries to keep one of each type of thing she does. So I think in 96, 97, I started doing these big ones where it's hollow. So this is, I think it's a prototype, but it's not comfortable wearing because these are kind of sharp shapes. So I started making cones instead. So these are more wearable.
Okay.
And then I think these go before this one. So this one I call a half lei. It reminds me of those Hawaiian leis. That's what inspired it. And so this is later. This is kind of a hollow tube. It's kind of like a cane work, but instead of a solid cane, it's hollow cane. So it's like reversible on the other side. So similar. Yeah, one of our friends have a more intense version in terms of color wise. This is another different version where this is not Fimo, it's a different kind of Primo. So it has like translucent colors. So I roll out a thin sheet, and then before I bake it, I use an X-Acto blade and cut out the shapes, and then I bake it. Oh. Some of them have foil inside. Some of them are mixed up with this also has foil. Some of them are mixed up with you can see the dots of the silver spread in there. I guess this one you can see. I think I made 3 versions of this necklace. I kept the first one, the abstract one. One I really like is the generation one, which is at the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art. And that one is all about first generation Americans because I wanted to talk about immigrants, that's how our country is strong because of all these people. Well, one reason is because we have a lot of people from different countries coming. So some of these are other samplers where they have lots of different techniques. So we'll be doing something like that in the class, where we might be doing some carving, some simple tile mosaic, and maybe some other, the thread mosaics. So a variety of stuff. This is drawing. So kind of lots of...
Wow, this is really exciting. It's like very beautiful.
Yeah, so I combine it with this is a friend's ceramic bead. This is simple carving, and then there's glass. And this one is combining, those sewing bobbins. I do mosaic or cane work around it. So that's another option. So I probably will show the ones where you can embed the polymer in other material. Of course, you can set it in silver, and I'll show you, or other metals.
Yeah.
And this is very simple technique. All it is kind of do the shape, mix the color, do the shape, and then use a pin to scratch in the design. So they're probably both sides have stuff in it. Yeah, that one is a cane, actually. It is a cane I cut out. It was a bird cane. So, and then I think this one has some of the mosaics in there. And so some with just the thread mosaic, some with the tile work. So we'll be doing both in class. This is just a very simple abstract. It's inspired by the earthworms we had to dissect when we were in high school.
Well, that doesn't sound very exciting, but...
Yeah, it's still traumatizing for me. But this one I actually did with Dana, made the bezel for that one. And I collaborate with Chuck and Dan and Nancy. I think this is still Chuck. And
This again is like embedded, or how?
this one is, I made the ring. I cast the ring.
Yeah.
And then this I just embedded vertically.
Yeah.
This is similar, where it's smaller pieces. So it's like a moss. That's the inspiration.
Yeah. We have lots of that here, right?
Yeah. And then this one is also inspired by nature. So this was on inspired by the bark of a tree. This one is also drawing on the clay. So in terms of the polymer work, it's very simple. So there's a lot of possibilities you can do with polymer. And then this one is a little vessel with tile work. This is experimental that it didn't quite work because it's really thin. So some of the pieces have broken apart, but this is probably
It looks beautiful though.
almost 30 years old, this piece. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it takes a lot of experimentation when you are working with an alternative material, I guess. So
yeah,
I have managed to, I don't know.
This one is mosaic, but instead of horizontal, it's placed vertically. And that was, I was preparing to take a class in glass micromosaic where they put it vertically.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to see how, kind of just try out the technique before I take the class. So yeah, so this is most of the stuff. I show some of the work, and there's like plenty of techniques. So I'll probably ask what techniques people are most interested in, and then demo those first.
Okay.
So you can start with techniques you really want to do, and then each day I'll demo techniques.
Yeah.
And whatever you want to try out, you don't have to try everything, but you have the opportunities to see a variety. Oh. Look huge.
Yeah, but when you go really close, you can see all the beautiful details.
Okay, maybe while you...
I think once. Another. Yeah, the light is much better without the yellow.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about how I do the mosaic.
Yeah.
And I'll just move this over. So to do the micro mosaic, first I mix the clay colors I need. And then I pull threads, just hand roll threads. So, they will be separate on a tray so they don't all stick together. So I bake it, and then after I bake it, I chop it up into little pieces. So those are the baked threads, and these are when after it's chopped out. And so if I am low on a particular color, I'll start making those threads before I actually start the mosaic. And this is one I just started working on. So I put the clay in the base, the polymer clay in the base, and then I use a sewing pin and just lightly sketch out the design on the clay. If I don't like it, I just smooth it out and start all over again. And then I would use tweezers and then hand set each one. Unfortunately, I dropped my tweezer, so the tip is kind of bent, so it doesn't work very well, but I'm still using it. And so I'm struggling with my, I don't know, damaged tweezer. And but basically that's it. And when
how you make them so thin? This is amazing. I mean,
oh,
they're so thin.
yeah, when you pull it, you
you
get
did like
thicker,
this.
thinner. Yeah, I can show you. But,
I mean, like when we were kids, right? When we were making things with clay.
Yep.
Oh, I like that.
And here's a little lump of the clay. Oops. So you, when you're working, you probably be just working on a bigger sheet of, or a sheet of paper that doesn't have all this other stuff on it. So basically you tilt it, and that's all you're doing, just like how when you were, exactly when you were little. And you started out a little bit first.
I see.
Yeah, and I don't go really thin initially.
I see.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. Well.
But you can also go thinner, and you can pull sections thinner too.
And then you bake this, or you just leave it to air dry? Or...
Oh, bake it. Yeah, all baked. So this is a little piece, and you can make it thinner when you want. So I like having a variety of thicknesses, so you don't always need the really, really thin in pieces. So, and I fill a whole tray, and then I bake it. And probably if I'm doing gray, I have a variety of grays together. So, because a little bit, if you think about this, a little bit goes a long way. So if it's spread thin, this is gonna, just this little lump probably will cover the whole of that.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so you don't need a lot of clay, but it's more fun having a variety of the colors. So I'm just gonna squish this up.
It's really nice.
I guess I could have baked it.
That's really nice. And you create all the textures so you can, I mean, some of them are horizontal, some a little bit vertical, some round ones.
Yeah, this one has a variety. Most of them are all pretty much all horizontal. Yeah. Then some I have. Oh, like the dots here are.
The dots are really nice.
I mean, so they're just little hole punch.
Oh yeah.
Things. Yeah.
They're adding something interesting to the whole design, I think.
Yeah, And it could be just, you know, cross sections of the those pieces too.
Yeah.
So
I love butterflies. So.
yeah, that one is a 4 endangered butterflies.
Really?
So I was reading a book on I think it's called The Last Butterflies. So, but I based a couple of the butterflies on the ones in the book, and then 2 other ones. One is a Washington State one. So this is the Washington State.
Okay, I didn't see that.
So it's night and day. So top
Oh,
is
yeah.
a night animal, and then the day animal. So there's a fox and a chipmunk, and then an owl and a sandpiper.
Beautiful. I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's for a teapot show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just realized it's due next week. So I pretty much finished it, and I have to take some pictures of it. But yeah, the requirement is you have to have a spout, you have to have a handle, and then you have to have the lid. So
So what is the material? This is Fimo, all of it?
all female.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't
Oh, and
quite decided whether or not to do the there's a different color. I actually did it a different color. I painted it a different color, and I didn't like it, so I sanded it all off. So
it's nice when you have to start over, right?
yeah, but it's not too bad because I'm just sanding. Yeah.
I know how it is. Sometimes I do. It takes so much time, but
So I think I might just leave it as is. Yeah.
so funny.
So
Beautiful.
yeah, and it's both sided. It's the other birds on the other side.
So the workshop will be for 3 days, right?
Workshop is 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah. So different techniques every day.
Yeah.
And this you can mix your own colors easily.
Yeah, and it looks really very, I don't know, it looks really unique, like an artifact.
Glass also takes a lot longer because you have to individually cut each glass tesserae. And then also you're embedding it vertically. So this is kind of horizontal. So it goes a lot faster. Plus you can cut a whole bunch at once, you know, not like the glass where you're scoring it one at a time. Oh, the other two, if you want to do carving, is carving tools if you have.
Yeah.
So I have some that we can share, and some to the Tacoma. I donated one to the Tacoma Art Museum. They already have one. But these are my Rolodex bracelets. So so using just thin baked sheets of polymer. And then this is like the cone necklace we saw before, but in a bracelet form. So these are all hand cut. This one was inspired by ivory bangles, but I just made it out of polymer. Same, and this one is just like strips of polymer, kind of like bicolor ones. Some are more like striped sheets, all hand cut. This was part of a sculptural piece that I took apart. This is another format you can do instead of just round beads. Yeah, so you can do that. It could be a big necklace eventually.
You know that red is back to fashion, right?
Oh.
I was just reading about it. It's like, oh, you need something red. Wow.
Yeah, and you can do like plain color beads to go with this, and then the necklace will go a lot faster. So this just has like different techniques on the same thing: cane work, transverse carving, mokumegane, some striped mosaic. I don't know what that is. I think it's carved and then clay rubbed back in. I think that's what it is. Yeah, more mosaic. Yeah. So lots of different ways.
Oh my God.
That one is drawn on mosaic. This is drawing,
Yeah.
carving. This one has aluminum foil inside and then translucent clay around it, and the whole thing is drawing. Yeah, so that's like that lay one. Oh, this is all cane. Yeah, lots of samples.
This is beautiful.
So this is like that half lay necklace,
Yeah.
instead of bracelet.
I love it because they look so big, and someone would, you know, feel that they are heavy,
And
but they're
weightless.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And this is all hollow. It's done like an ice cream cone, so also very light.
yeah,
Yeah.
very beautiful.
And then this is another of those, I think I did it for the class, like different techniques, same thing.
I love the color on this one.
Oh.
I'm going through a blue and white phase in terms
Going
of
through a
color.
pink phase, actually.
And you know, and a little bit of pink. I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
So
Doing
very beautiful. And this one,
those are I do different materials. Those are kind of, I guess, plastic or vinyl or something like that. That is from something tape from Boeing surplus, but I can't find that tape anymore. It's like a roll of plastic, not really tape. And that one is also, it starts from the same cane, and it's just like changing the cane, and so started from one very simple cane. So yeah, you can make very complex canes from something very simple. So I think, yeah, maybe we'll get into that too. There's like so many things.
I know. This is really beautiful.
And more carving. Yeah, lots. Yeah, that's more. These are my Rolodex drawer. Or bracelet drawer. These are some of the earliest little people beads I did. Probably 80s, I think, some of these beads. Like this isn't even cane work. This is before I learned about cane work. So that's a glass one. That's another one. So I would add new ones to it. So charm bracelet, a little mosaic one, another babushka.
Yeah, I wanted to say it, that they look like a little babushka.
Yeah, there's a little ear of corn.
Yeah.
So yeah, transfer. Yeah, I think I put all my earliest little
Beads on a bracelet, which is really nice.
yeah, little people. I call them people beads.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't think any of them are cane. I think some of them I eventually learned cane work. So like the blanket is cane work, the scarf has cane work, but the faces are all I call it onlay. So
That's really nice.
thank you. That's my first Rolodex bracelet. Yeah. So
This looks like a wave. I like it.
yeah, I wanted to do it morphing from one shape to another. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is part of that same pathway.
Yeah.
I kept two of it, but yeah, it was I think 90 inches long, the original one. So I think I still have a few scraps of that. Oh, here's one that looks like a sausage.
Well,
Yeah, I want to do something big, but it's very light.
oh yeah.
And I didn't realize it would look that much like a sausage.
It looks like a donut.
a bagel, something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's really nice. I like it. And it's red, right? It's in fashion.
Yeah. So,
And these ones are really nice. I was looking at them.
yeah, those were about the different people that was inspired me, and I was gonna do initially I was going to do this whole float of them, but I didn't have time to do that piece, so I changed it to a helmet actually.
Oh,
I still have the helmet, and then I have the names of all the people on the inside of the helmet. So I used aluminum foil for the core, and then I put the names on the aluminum foil. Let's see. I think it's in this room. There's the crown.
oh,
Yeah, or helmet. Yeah.
that's really nice.
And then on the inside is actually the names of all the different people in there.